Hello guys, once again, welcome to my new video. As you guys can see, I am playing Entropia Universe as usual. And today video, I would like to, discuss something about auction. It's not an auction guide, but how do you guys try to supply your hunting loot? You let's say you have found the right mob for you, and it is kind of like good for you and reasonable mu, and I don't know, you don't know how much you have to sell them, or you afraid that the because of auction fees, most people were afraid that it's not going to sell. Even me myself, I also afraid that my item is not going to sell as well. So for that, let me go to auction. I don't know where auction is. Let me see, let me see. Oh, I found it. Auction here. Yeah? Okay, I'm in Rocktopia. We're gonna look at Calypso, that is a main, you know, center, World Trade Center, let's say. And I have this. Let's say I have tier 1 component. You may have something different to sell on auction. Okay. Actually, I would need a little bit more. The 50 is a bit too low to sell, actually. That's not the point, but here we're gonna look at, you know, daily. First, when I want to sell something on auction, I look at daily, and then weekly, and also monthly, because some items people don't really buy like daily, or they miss to buy, but some items seems to be rare, or like not not everyone hunt those and get those, or even get those kind of loot. So there is a demand, but people doesn't know that, or doesn't loot that yet. But when you loot it, and then you're surprised that, hey, it doesn't really sell daily. No, don't look at daily. You have to look at weekly, because sometimes it could sell on last week, you know. And yeah, at this point, we're gonna look at weekly for this tier 1 at it sell 900. What I usually do is then 900 divided by 7, because we have 7. I can put item on 7 day, right? Oh, I cannot put because it's in Calypso. I can put on 7 day, and yeah, divided that by 7 day, because if in 7 day is if it's not sell, then it will expire. And it is weekly. I look at weekly, that's why I divide it by 7. If I look at monthly, I divide it by 30, because it has 30 day. Mostly I look at only weekly though. Monthly sometime, but what I look at is weekly. Okay, at this point we have 900 pets sold for tier 1 component, which mean if I divide it by 7, then which mean it sell daily around 100 to 150. This is accurate, it sells 100 pet for today, and 5,000 pet for monthly, so it could be around sometime 100 to 150 you can sell. I mean, yeah, it not you can sell, but people supply it for the whole year or the cycle. So how much can you sell? How many of these things can you sell? Let's say if you put that tier 1 for 150, a chance of selling, I mean 150 pet, okay? A chance of selling that tier 1 on 150 pet or 100 pet of those tier 1 would be lower because it is already a kind of like max limit for the soul for demand, and you don't want that. Sometime what I do is then I divide it, I even further divide it by like 10%. I sell like 10% of these daily. Let's say it is 100, right? And I put only like 10 pets. Sometime, if I feel like I'm okay with it, then I go for 20 pets. It's okay. Mostly it sell. Yeah, because I don't know how to say. It is itself mostly because demand is like 100 and you give a gap to other seller like 100 more for their item to sold. You give a gap, and also people like to grab small amount of stack rather than big amount. But most people think that, hey, if I stack a lot of things or loot at once, and then when you put it on auction, it is much cheaper because you pay less auction fees. Yes, it it does. You paid less auction fees, but the risk of you are not going to sell is higher because let's say you put 1000 pet of muscle oil and then you put it like 101%. It is kind of like okay, this decent amount of mu, but then do you think that everyone could afford to buy? Well, there are a lot of people that could you know can afford to buy, but even though even though they can afford it, not they are not going to buy because instead of buying your 1000 pet of muscle oil, they will just grab I just want to gamble for like 100 pet. Instead they grab 100 pet of muscle oil stack with a little bit higher mu. So what I would like to recommend you guys is that whenever you try to put something and just like put 10% of that, like what I say, 10% of average daily soul, okay? Not this daily soul. When you get how do you get average daily soul is that divided by weekly soul and also divided by monthly soul, and you manage it out, and then you will get like average. Let's say here is 900, and if you divided that, then you get around 120. And then here look at monthly, you divided that by 30, then you get around still 120. So it's mean 120. Sometimes it could be a little bit higher or lower. So 120 higher or lower, right? That's average what you get. And then you sell 10% of those. You are not going to sell like 100 pet of those because that's a maximum demand for daily already. So if you want your item to sell, then try to sell it like lower limit of demand, and try not to put like try not to try not to put like one item only, rely on one item only, and then just waiting for that to sell. No, if that item doesn't really sell, let's say this tier 1 component doesn't really it's not sold yet for today, maybe tomorrow or another day, even like 6 day. Sometime, I could, there are a lot of item from my auction that hasn't sold, but I don't really rely on just one item. I try to put like different kind of item, and then with small stack. Most of them are sold, but sometimes, people that just don't want to grab it. They feel like, it's not a time to, gamble that, or it's not a time to, use that item, so they don't really want to grab that. So yeah, that's my kind of advice. And let's say you have 100 pet of muscle oil, then you put it on auction, then you still want to hunt, and then you still want to hunt, try not to hunt a mob that drop muscle oil. Then hunt something that drop like maybe eye oil, or maybe something different, and then you can put different kind of item for your auction. Well, you pay a little bit more, of course, but you rely on different kind of item instead of just one. But I really like, I could assure you or guarantee you, not 100% though, I could assure you that if you put different kind of item instead of rely on just one, then in long term you are doing okay with auction. Is that instead of just keep losing, you know how to say, keep losing on auction beats, and then sometimes maybe you are the one trying to kill the MU of the item. Yeah, you don't want that too. So what I recommend you is also, bankroll management. At this case, it's also does work, because let's say you have 1000 pet of bankroll, and then you don't want most of your pet stuck on auction as well. That's why I try to reduce the smaller amount or reasonable amount. Sometimes if you have like 2000 pet, maybe put 60 pet of muscle oil, 50 pet of eye oil on an auction with the reasonable MU, put it there. Yeah, it could sell, because people don't really care. Sometimes I also don't really care if I really need it, but I'm not going to grab 1000 pet of muscle oil because I need only 50 pet. I will just grab, okay, I'll pay a little bit more MU, I'll grab 50 pet of eye oil instead of 1000 pet. Why not, right? So that's my advice for auction. If you guys have any advice or any view of your auctions, then maybe you can talk to me in a game, or comment in this video down below what's your point of view for this video. And thank you guys for joining me in this video. Wish you guys good luck in Entropia Universe, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.